first speaker is Mr. Segun Ogunsanya. He's currently the Chief Executive Officer and the MD of Airtel Nigeria. Everyone would have received his profile, but I'm impressed, and so I'm going to go through some of the highlights of his career. Like I said, he's currently the MD and the CEO of Airtel. He's an engineer and a chartered accountant. He has over 27 years experience across a variety of sectors and countries across the world. He joined Airtel in 2012. Since then, he's repositioned the company to become profitable. Today, it's the second largest telecommunications company by revenue, serving over 50 million customers. Before he joined Airtel, he was with the Coca-Cola company. He started off in finance and then just transitioned into a number of senior leadership roles. When he left as the managing director and CEO. But what really stood out for me was that he was the first African to be appointed in this role. As we know, Coca-Cola and Airtel, they have significant advertising budgets. They are located across the world.
How we actually do is during normal times. During normal times, what do we do as leaders? We paint a vision as to what we want to achieve. We agree on our purpose. We set goals. We set milestones for our people. We design a roadmap. And we get a good team. We get the wrong guys off the bus, put the right people into the bus, put the right people in the right seats. These are very visible outcomes that we are very familiar with. And we reward the people for delivering with debrief failures. And we keep on innovating, we test the boundary. These are the normal things we do during normal times. But when we're in a crisis, what do we do differently? When things are not normal, how do we because everyone in this symposium is a leader, what do we do differently? I'm going to share a number of concepts with you. They work for me in my previous lives. They're still working for me as well. About 9 or 10 of them. And I'm going to start with the one that is very, very fundamental. When you're in a crisis, when there's a turbulence, the first thing you do is to confront reality. Don't deny the turbulence. Don't deny the crisis. It's good to be faithful. It's good to have faith that things are going to be all right. But don't act only on the faith. You must do things other than faith. I've listened to so many people riding the storm. Let's ride it. You don't ride the storm in the company. You must confront the reality on the ground. So my first way of dealing with the crisis is to be very clear about the facts I'm dealing with. What are the issues I'm dealing with? I don't let emotions declare my judgment. Sometimes you get very emotional, but that's not going to solve any problem. And I'm not by any reason saying you shouldn't have faith in whatever you believe in. Faith is very, very important for our spirituality. But above all, you must not deny the facts of what you are dealing with. If you're dealing with a foreign exchange crisis, you are dealing with a foreign exchange crisis. If you're dealing with a very, very massive pandemic like COVID, you are dealing with COVID. You must find all the facts about COVID. So my first advice on how to lead during a turbulence is to confront the facts of what you are dealing with. And for you to do this, very effectively, you must have this ability to understand complex and rapidly changing circumstances accurately. Because in a crisis, things change very, very quickly. You just can't default to your normal mode. You must be able to handle very complex situations and have the change very quickly over time. So that's my second advice. Be on top of the issues, know how to respond when issues change very quickly. The third one is about what you do very well, a lot more than I can say, about communicating. A leader cannot over-communicate during a crisis. It's a major imperative for you to go through the crisis. Communicate, communicate, communicate. There's no other way of ending a crisis than just letting your people know you know what the problems are, leading them to the solution, using their collective wisdom to get to a solution, and making sure they understand what they do every day. Every little thing, every big thing they do every day, how does it contribute to the final purpose of the business? So as a leader, whether you're a CMO, whether you're sales leader, whether you're a CEO, it's very, very important, much more important during a crisis, to be able to communicate to your folks. Don't let them lose the essence of your purpose. What exactly is your purpose? What are you set up to do despite the crisis? And whatever they do every day, how does it end up adding something to your overall purpose? When I talk to my team during the COVID crisis, I keep telling them, what is our main purpose? We're here to connect people with their passion or with their livelihood. We're selling recharge, to put it very mildly. We're selling airtime. We sell connectivity, connecting people through voice, through internet. That's our purpose. So whether COVID or no COVID, if you're able to understand this, that's the essence of our business, we're able to know what we need to do differently every day to overcome challenges like COVID. The first thing I like to talk about during a crisis is motivating your people. There's a lot of fear out when there's a crisis. How do you get your team engaged? What is the right chord you need to strike with your people? You need to find that chord. And the chord is different for different people. Maybe somebody's spirituality, maybe somebody's love for mankind. It might be money, whatever it is. Just make sure you treat people differently during a crisis and appeal to whatever motivates them to deliver their best, especially the ones that you really want to keep. But again, don't deny the facts. Don't paint a wrong picture. Let them know you value them, but find what makes them go the extra mile. Is it their love for mankind, wanting to do something for people? Or is it money? Is it training? Find whatever that thing is and offer it to them if it's within your value system. I mean, April was a very bad month for us, for most telcos in this country. That was the height of the lockdown. Voice revenues tanked. Before data finally came to the rest, it took some weeks. But I had to keep my team engaged because they've never seen that kind of decline before. I've never seen it before. When revenue just crashed all of a sudden because people are not making phone calls because they're stuck at home with their folks. There's no point in calling somebody when the person's right next to you. But I mean, from a few weeks after, we figured another way to let people have access to recharge. We figured ways of letting them buy data. And by the second month, data revenue kicked in and we were able to really ride the storm. My fifth advice is to teach your people new skills to survive in the new normal. Survival is the least common denominator. And that shouldn't be your expectation. Thriving must be your end game. You must thrive during a crisis. If you survive, you just maintain the status quo. That's also essential, by the way. But the goal of any business is to thrive. So you must just find ways, new skills that you need to teach your people so that they can thrive. I know Apple's valuation almost doubled during the crisis. Korean companies are doing very well. Remember, knowledge perish. So you must be able to teach your people new skills for them to become relevant. If you're able to communicate with your customers online today, you're good. If you're unable to, you are dead. You're not able to, you are dead. So how do we teach our people new ways of reaching the customers? It's also very important. My sixth term advice is about integrity. You just have to maintain your integrity all of it as a leader, as a follower, as a person. Because a honest person or a honest company can never be blackmailed by any crisis or be shamed by any crisis. And for me personally, when I'm about to take a decision, I use 3 clear lenses. The lenses are: 1, is it profitable to the business I'm running? Number 2, is the process a legal process? Number 3, is it ethical? But you can actually have something legal but not ethical. You can't even tell your children about what you're doing. So when I use those 3 lenses and the issues pass, it's a yes for me. Is the outcome going to be profitable for the business? Is the process I'm following legal? Am I being ethical? If I cross those 3 of this, I'm good to go. So integrity is always very key as a person, as a company, because in that way, no crisis can shame you. No crisis can blackmail you. My 7th point, and I'm sure we're going to have a debate amongst us, so I'm rushing through, is to always go beyond your business. You must support the vulnerable. It is very essential for the strong to protect the weak, for the rich to support the poor. Otherwise, the ecosystem cannot survive. During the crisis, we donated money to various causes, to the various governments. We donated the testing center to a state government. As I speak now, we're actually building or refurbishing a major infection treatment center in Loth. It's a massive block. We're renovating the old block. It's part of being a good citizen. So in your various ways as well, find ways of doing good stuff, even during a crisis. And my 8th point is about being a human being. You must be able to voice your fears to your people, reveal your vulnerabilities, admit your errors, your mistakes during a crisis, because you just can't get it right during the crisis. And that's part of being, after all, nobody's God. If you are not God, there's no shame in telling your people, you made a few mistakes, you got it right now, but tell them what you're afraid of. Share your vulnerabilities and let them know you are not God, so that they know that it's okay to make mistakes during a crisis. Then finally, you have to conserve cash. Cash is king. Money, naira, dollar, whatever you're trading with. You must keep as much as possible during a crisis. You cannot save your way out of a crisis, but after the crisis, you need cash to really do a lot of investment anyway. So do what is absolutely necessary. Anything that is going to give you more revenue, money behind it. But anything that is discretionary, my own advice and my own philosophy is to conserve cash, excuse me, during a crisis. I don't spend as much as I normally spend if there's a crisis. And that's going to really come out of the crisis much better than you go inside the crisis. So these are the 8-9 points I'd like to share with you. I understand there's time for question and answer. I don't want this to be a lecture. I want this to be a discussion. I would take a number of questions, as many as you want. And hopefully I would be able to enrich your knowledge. And you're also going to be able to enrich my knowledge as well, so that we all leave this forum equally blessed. So once again, I say a big thank you to ADVAN Leadership for inviting me to this forum. And I commend everyone. I wish you a happy new year. It's never too late to wish anyone a happy new year. So, gentlemen and ladies, that's the end of my formal discussion with you. I'll take some questions, and hopefully we would get some right answers from both of us.